CNN. This is CNN.
Welcome back to Late Edition. I'm Wolf Blitzer in Washington. We'll speak with Senators Kit Bond and Bob Casey in just a few moments. First, though, Hurricane Dean. It's a monster. It's barreling across the Caribbean right now. Jamaica in the eye of the storm. Susan Candiotti is joining us now live from Montego Bay. Susan, it's relatively calm now. I think we can say this is the calm before the storm, if you will. But what are people in Jamaica bracing for?
Well, I can tell you this, that they are already feeling the outer bands of this storm in Kingston, the capital city to the south. Up north here, the northwest, in Montego Bay, we haven't started feeling any of the effects as yet, but we will. For the first time now, the cloud cover is starting to roll in, and just a little while ago, for the very first time, we heard and saw a police van going through the streets, yelling through a bullhorn to people to please stay off the streets. There is not a lot of traffic at this hour, but they're telling people to clear the streets and telling them that buses are available to take them to shelters. What's of concern to the authorities here, and I just spoke to the head of disaster preparedness, who just got off the phone himself with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is urging people to take advantage of these shelters. Only 20 of them, again, are open so far, and that's only about a quarter of them that are available. Only 400 people have sought shelter. So far, we've talked to people and we've seen interviews with others saying they prefer to stay at home and protect their own property, and some have even said they think they'll be able to walk to a shelter during a storm if things get bad enough. Obviously, no one thinks that would be a very good idea. The power was supposed to be turned off within the last hour, but so far it remains on across the island, the idea being to protect the power grid as best as is possible. But so far, Hurricane Dean has done serious damage and is blamed for 5 deaths so far. In St. Lucia, a report of a man who drowned in a river, and listen to this, trying to rescue a cow. A mother and a son drowned in Dominica, and 2 more reports of people being killed in Martinique. So everyone knows that the storm is a very serious one and will be enveloping the entire island of Jamaica in the coming hours.
You know, it's a little surprising to hear what you're saying, Susan, given the fact this is a Category 4 storm, 140, 150 miles an hour, approaching that at least. Given the history of some of the recent hurricanes, including Katrina and Rita, you'd think people in Jamaica would be much more nervous about the potential disaster that awaits them.
Well, I think a large number of them are, certainly, and the people we're talking about who are not taking advantage of the shelters are those who live in structures where they do really need to be worried. But, you know, it's part of human nature to want to stay with your own stuff, not to leave your home. But the fact of the matter is they do need to be concerned about that. Other people are indeed hunkered down and have boarded up homes and businesses here, so you do have anxiety about what lies ahead. Others are frankly treating this as we often hear, a bit of an adventure to see what it's going to be like. But I don't want to say that people, generally speaking, are taking it lightly. Many have had days to prepare for this and do have food and water ready for the hours and days ahead.
All right, Susan, we're going to be checking back with you early and often. Thank you, Susan. Let's get the latest forecast from the CNN Hurricane Headquarters. Reynolds Wolf is tracking the storm's path. Show us where it is now, Reynolds, and where it's heading.
Well, right now, Wolf, it is leaving the Dominican Republic and Haiti in its wake, and now it's moving into Jamaica. Kingston is already getting some precipitation for the outer bands. However, on the other side of the island, we're not seeing a whole lot of activity there just yet. So just give it, I'd say, next 30, 40 minutes, they're going to start experiencing stronger wind gusts, and the rain is really going to pile in. Some places in the higher elevations could get up to 20 inches of rainfall. Now, the question you were asking, Wolf, where is this thing headed? Well, the latest path from the National Hurricane Center brings the center of the storm, not the entire storm, but just the eye, south of the island of Jamaica. But considering this is a storm that's hundreds of miles across, it will easily affect that island, bringing that heavy rainfall, that storm surge that could get up to 18 feet in some locations, and of course that damaging wind. As we fast forward from 8 p.m.